Okay, so this is Lee Hall 3, obviously. We're in the basement, and the way that this is not a terribly big building or anything like that, but it's a good sized building, and it demonstrates kind of a good distribution of how power is going around. So first of all, here is our main switchboard. A main switch gear would be bigger, but again, Lee Hall 3 is not that big of a building, and not every building has main switchboards. Some of them have just bigger distribution panels. But this is what we got. We got a main switchboard, 120 208 volt, 3-phase, 2,000 amps. Okay, so we've got a maximum amount of 2,000 amps that are being drawn through this board. Now, we've got these breakers that are here, and these are not small breakers. So here's main panel board M2, here's air handler number 1. All right, so this specific one right here looks to be drawing 150 amps, okay? So air handler number 1, which is that orange monster over there, is being drawn right from this panel because it's a big piece of equipment drawing a lot. Now, this is 150 amps, so if that thing draws 151, wham. And if I want to turn off air handler number 1, I could just turn this guy off and it would kill that. Okay. This is giving us some real time right now, 209 volts, 208 equivalent, and it's drawing 194 amps. Okay, so that's how much is actually coming out of here right now. If I were to open this thing up, I see a lot of air. Okay, there's a lot of air to keep things from arcing from one side to the other. All right, so here is main distribution panel. I'm going to go to this one here. Panel board M1. All right, so this is a big beast right here, and it's 800 amps. All right, 800 amps right here. So M1, panel board M1. This is this guy right here. So 800 amp breaker that's over here, then, and it's 3-phase, 120, 208 volts. So I've got 4 wires, 3 hots and 1 neutral. All right, and it's 800 amps max. So this panel could conceivably draw 800 amps. All right, so here we go. We got 1, 2, 3 phases, and here's a 3-pole breaker. So this one switch is attached to or clipping to 3 panel or 3 bus bars in here, attached to each one of the phases. I don't see anything in here that is attaching to single phase and a neutral. So I don't see any neutral that's in here right now. So this is all 3-phase. That 120 volts is a possibility. There might be a neutral bus bar in here, but there is no 120 single phase drawn in load placed on. So this guy here, this is our panel board schedule. So if you look through here, we've got WTW2, WTW1. What do you think that is? WTW. Water to water 1, water to water 2. So this is our pumps, our water to water heat pumps that are over here. We've got 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, and air handler number 2 are all being fed from this. Air handler number 1 is being fed from this one because it's a bigger unit. It's drawing more current. This guy here, air handler 1, is a smaller unit, so it's fed from this panel. We've got spares that are here. I'm not going to try it out, but if I were to flip these things on and off, nothing should happen. They shouldn't be attached to anything. And actually, now that I'm looking here, they're labeled here, WTW1, WTW2, or WTW4, and 5, and 3. Now, I don't see any other panel here, but maybe other of these panels. Here's DP distribution panel 2, which if I go over here, there's distribution panel 1, there's distribution panel number 2. So distribution panel 2 is a 400 amp breaker that is then feeding this guy right here. This panel right here, we've got then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 breakers. Spare, and this is P, I'm just picking one at random, actually, P2B. Here's P2A, here's P2B. So this one breaker here is then feeding this panel over here. So if I want to de-energize this whole thing, I can clip this off. Go over here, try to eventually find the load. Alright, oh, and here it is. Here's rooftop receptacles, breaker 30 that's on here. So if I were to flip 30, which is a 10 amp breaker, I could then de-energize it. But it came from here, the electrons came from here, then came from here, which then came from here. All right, so it all got trickled down. Nothing happened with voltage. It's just how the panels got, how the electron, the current got distributed out. Thoughts or questions? Good? All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off here. Sure.